Or, gentlemen, listen closely. Respect is not something you demand. It is something you command through who you are and how you carry yourself. Or, women do not truly respect a man just because he looks good, has money, or speaks sweet words. They respect a man who lives with strength, direction, and self-respect. Or, a man who respects himself first will never beg for attention, never chase validation, and never lower his standards to please someone else. Or, he understands his worth and moves with confidence. Or, and that confidence speaks louder than anything he could ever say. Self-respect is the foundation upon which every man must build his identity. Without it, or he becomes vulnerable to manipulation, disrespect, and constant disappointment. Women naturally gravitate toward men who carry themselves with dignity, or because self-respect communicates strength and inner worth without a single word being spoken. A man who respects himself does not seek approval from others. Instead, or he lives according to his own principles and values. He knows his boundaries, he knows his standards, and he refuses to compromise them for temporary satisfaction. In conclusion, all women respect the man who respects himself first. A man who respects himself is not desperate for validation, nor does he lose himself in the pursuit of someone else's affection. He understands that his value is not determined by how many people like him, but by the way he views and treats himself. Women can immediately sense this confidence because it shows in his words, posture, and actions. Instead of trying to impress, he simply embodies self-worth. This makes him naturally attractive and respected. In conclusion, true respect from women comes when a man already validates himself, or when a man lacks self-respect. He accepts poor treatment, tolerates disrespect, and stays in situations that degrade him. Or he may believe that sacrificing his dignity will win him love, but in reality, it does the opposite. Women lose respect for men who compromise their standards just to be liked. Or respect cannot coexist with desperation because desperation communicates weakness. A man must prioritize his pride, his values, and his inner strength above external approval. In conclusion, women respect the man who refuses to trade dignity for affection. Self-respect also means saying no when necessary. Too many men believe that constant agreement and pleasing behavior will win a woman's heart, but in truth, it kills attraction and destroys respect. Women admire men who are decisive, assertive, and unafraid to walk away when boundaries are crossed. This does not mean arrogance, but rather balance, knowing when to compromise and when to stand firm. A man's note carries weight when he values himself. In conclusion, respect follows the man who enforces his standards with confidence. A man who respects himself also demands respect through his actions, not his words. He shows up with discipline, he works on his goals, and he invests in his personal growth. When women see a man committed to bettering himself, they automatically recognize his value. Self-respect is not loud or boastful, it is quiet confidence backed by consistency. It's in the way he treats his body, his work, and his relationships. In conclusion, women respect men who prove their self-respect through consistent actions, not empty talk. Respecting oneself also means having emotional strength. A man who constantly chases approval or reacts emotionally to rejection reveals insecurity and weakness. On the other hand, a man with self-respect understands that not everyone will like him, and that's okay. He does not beg, plead, or compromise his identity to be accepted, he remains calm and composed, which women admire deeply. This emotional steadiness comes from valuing oneself regardless of external circumstances. In conclusion, all women respect the man who controls his emotions because he respects his inner peace. Self-respect also creates balance in relationships. A man without it often gives too much or too soon and expects validation in return, but ends up empty. A man with self-respect gives value, but never at the cost of his dignity. He knows that love must be mutual, not one-sided, and he is willing to step away if he is not treated fairly. This balance ensures he is not exploited or disrespected, or women cannot help but admire a man who carries this strength. In conclusion, women respect men who balance giving with maintaining dignity. Or another crucial aspect of self-respect is independence. A man who is needy or dependent loses respect quickly because he signals that he cannot stand on his own. Or women respect men who are whole by themselves, men who build their own lives and allow others to add to their happiness rather than define it. Or independence is power because it shows that he does not fear being alone, nor does he rely on others for identity. In conclusion, or women respect the man who is independent and complete within himself. Ultimately, self-respect is what separates men who are admired from those who are ignored, or women can sense the difference instantly. A man who lives with respect for himself naturally demands respect from others without force or begging, or he becomes the type of man who sets the tone in every interaction because his value is undeniable. Women only respect this kind of man because he embodies strength, confidence, and unwavering dignity. In conclusion, when a man respects himself, the world and women have no choice but to respect him. Or a man without purpose drifts through life like a ship without a compass, easily lost in distractions and dependent on others to lead him. Or women instinctively sense when a man lacks direction, and this lack of clarity prevents deep respect from forming. Purpose is not just about having a job or ambition, but about knowing why you live and what you stand for. A man with direction becomes magnetic because he carries certainty in a world full of uncertainty. In conclusion, women respect men who know where they are going and why they are going there. When a man has a clear purpose, his actions align with his vision, or he wakes up each day with drive and determination, not just to survive but to progress. Women respect this focus because it shows maturity and leadership. Or a man on a mission has no time for games or empty pursuits. He values his energy and invests it wisely. Or such discipline commands admiration because it demonstrates strength of character. In conclusion, women respect the man who channels his time and energy into purposeful action rather than meaningless distractions. A man with direction also provides a sense of security. Or women naturally feel drawn to stability, and a man who knows where he is going creates confidence in those around him. His ambition shows that he can build, protect, and provide, not because of material possessions alone, but because of the mindset behind his growth. A man who drifts, however, creates uncertainty and doubt. Respect cannot thrive in confusion, it thrives in vision. In conclusion, women respect men who inspire security through clarity of goals and dedication to achieving them. Purpose transforms a man's identity because it gives him discipline. Without purpose, a man indulges in laziness, procrastination, and unhealthy habits, which slowly erode his strength. With purpose, he develops focus, resilience, and consistency. These qualities make him dependable and trustworthy, traits women deeply admire. A purposeful man proves through his actions that he is not easily shaken by setbacks, but instead uses them as fuel to continue moving forward. In conclusion, women respect the man whose purpose drives discipline, turning challenges into opportunities for greater strength and leadership. A man with direction also values his time differently. He understands that every moment counts toward building his vision, so he avoids wasting energy on things that do not serve his mission. Women respect men who prioritize growth over distractions because it shows wisdom and self-control. When a man values his time, others automatically value it as well. This seriousness toward life communicates strength, and women admire the man who lives with such intentionality. In conclusion, respect follows the man who treats time as a precious resource aligned with his purpose. A man's purpose makes him stand out in a world where many drift without intention, while others are easily influenced by trends or peer pressure. The purposeful man follows his own path. Women respect him because he is rare. His individuality and strength of character shine in contrast to the crowd. This uniqueness commands admiration because it shows he is not afraid to walk alone for the sake of his mission. He becomes a leader rather than a follower. In conclusion, all women respect the man who sets his own path and walks it with confidence. Having direction also means that a man is resilient under pressure, or purpose gives him something greater than temporary comfort to fight for, so he refuses to quit when life gets difficult. Or this determination inspires others and earns deep respect because it shows strength of will. Women notice when a man can endure hardship while staying focused on his goals, and this endurance separates him from those who easily give up. Respect grows when a man proves that his vision is stronger than his obstacles. In conclusion, women respect men who endure with unshakable determination. A purposeful man naturally commands leadership, his clarity of direction allows him to make decisions with confidence and guide others effectively. Women are drawn to leaders because leadership represents strength, vision, and capability. A man who leads with wisdom and fairness earns respect not only from women but from everyone around him. He does not need to boast about his authority or his actions establish it. Leadership born of purpose is powerful because it comes from inner conviction, not ego. In conclusion, women respect men who lead with vision rooted in a higher purpose. Ultimately, purpose and direction separate men who are respected from those who are ignored. A man with purpose inspires, motivates, and creates value wherever he goes, while a man without it is easily forgotten. Women only respect the man who proves that his life is guided by something greater than pleasure or comfort. Purpose turns a man into a protector, a builder, and a leader, which naturally earns admiration. In conclusion, women respect the man who lives with vision, direction, an unshakable dedication to his purpose in life. Emotional control is one of the strongest signs of a man's inner strength. A man who loses his composure easily, whether through anger, jealousy, or desperation, signals weakness that destroys respect. Women instinctively admire men who remain calm even in stressful or emotional situations, because calmness demonstrates mastery over the self. True power is not in reacting loudly but in staying grounded when others fall apart. When a man controls his emotions, he controls his environment and earns the respect of everyone around him. In conclusion, women respect men who demonstrate power through emotional control. A man who masters his emotions does not allow temporary feelings to dictate his actions. Instead of making impulsive decisions out of anger or fear, he pauses, reflects, and chooses wisely. This maturity is rare and deeply admired because it shows self-awareness and strength of character. Women feel safe with men who think before acting, because such men provide stability instead of chaos. Emotional control communicates reliability, and reliability builds trust and admiration over time. In conclusion, women respect the man who proves his strength by responding with wisdom instead of impulsive emotion. Emotional control also prevents manipulation. Many people, consciously or unconsciously, test boundaries to see how others react. A man who reacts emotionally reveals his weaknesses and can be easily exploited, while a man who stays calm under pressure shows that he cannot be controlled. Women admire this steadiness because it communicates unshakable strength. Respect naturally grows when a man proves that his decisions are guided by logic and principles rather than by uncontrolled emotion. In conclusion, women respect men who are immune to manipulation because they rule their emotions instead of being ruled by them. When a man lacks emotional control, he often overreacts to rejection or disappointment. He might beg, argue, or lash out, but these actions only lower his value in the eyes of others. Women quickly lose respect for men who crumble emotionally when things don't go their way. On the other hand, a man with self-control accepts rejection gracefully and moves forward with dignity. This resilience shows that his self-worth is not dependent on external approval. In conclusion, women respect men who face rejection with strength, proving their emotions never outweigh their self-respect. Emotional control also demonstrates leadership. Leaders cannot afford to panic or lose their composure during challenges because others look to them for guidance. A man who manages his emotions well becomes a natural leader, or not by force, but by presence. Women admire this quality because it communicates authority and stability, both of which are attractive and respectable. Or leadership does not come from aggression, but from calm confidence in decision making. In conclusion, women respect men who lead with calmness under pressure, or because emotional stability sets true leaders apart from ordinary men. A man with emotional control also avoids unnecessary conflict. Instead of reacting to every insult or provocation or challenge, he knows when to walk away and when to respond. This balance makes him wise and composed, and women notice that he values peace over ego, or fighting every battle reveals insecurity, while choosing battles wisely reveals strength, or emotional mastery allows a man to above petty situations and focus on what truly matters. In conclusion, or women respect men who maintain composure and prove that they are too strong to be dragged into pointless conflict. Or emotional control builds respect because it is connected to self-mastery. A man who can regulate his emotions can also regulate his habits, his discipline, and his overall life. Or women notice this connection because a man who is in control of himself is capable of handling responsibility and pressure. Or emotional steadiness communicates that he can face difficulties without crumbling, which creates admiration and trust. A man who loses control easily cannot be relied upon, but one who remains steady can be trusted deeply. In conclusion, women respect men who demonstrate self-mastery through emotional control. Or another important aspect of emotional control is patience. Many men rush through decisions or relationships because of impatience, but true strength lies in waiting for the right moment. Patience comes from managing emotions like anxiety or fear, and it leads to better outcomes. Or women admire men who are patient because patience shows maturity, discipline, and wisdom. It demonstrates that he does not need instant gratification but trusts his process. Or such qualities make him highly respectable. In conclusion, women respect men who show patience because it proves they control their emotions instead of being controlled by them. Or ultimately, emotional control is the silent force that separates strong men from weak ones. Women do not respect men who are easily angered, easily broken, or emotionally dependent. They respect the man who carries himself with calmness, who remains steady in the face of storms, and who never allows emotions to dictate his worth. Or such men become anchors in chaos, leaders in uncertainty, and symbols of strength wherever they go. Emotional control is true masculine power. In conclusion, women respect men who embody inner strength through calm and unshakable emotional control. Constant growth and discipline are the qualities that separate average men from truly respected men. A man who refuses to grow becomes stagnant, predictable, and uninspiring, while a man who consistently improves himself becomes a source of admiration. Women deeply respect men who show commitment to bettering their mind, body, and character. Growth is proof that he refuses to remain the same, and discipline is the engine that keeps him moving forward. Together, they create unstoppable progress. In conclusion, women respect men who embrace growth and discipline as non-negotiable parts of their lives. Growth shows that a man is not content with mediocrity. He strives to become stronger, wiser, and more capable each day, which communicates ambition and resilience. Women admire men who are never satisfied with being average, because this drive reflects strength and leadership. Discipline, on the other hand, ensures that progress is not occasional, but consistent. Without discipline, growth remains a dream, but with discipline, growth becomes a reality. This powerful combination earns lasting respect. In conclusion, women respect the man who chooses ambition and discipline over laziness and complacency every single day. A man who practices discipline in his habits demonstrates control over his life. He takes care of his health, manages his time, and focuses on productive goals instead of meaningless distractions. Women notice the difference between a man ruled by impulses and a man guided by discipline. The latter inspires confidence because he proves he can handle responsibilities and challenges without losing focus. Growth and discipline are visible in his daily actions, not just his words. In conclusion, women respect men who discipline themselves because it shows maturity, strength, and reliability. Growth also means being willing to learn, or a man who believes he knows everything closes the door to progress, but a man who remains teachable never stops evolving. Women admire men who read, explore, and improve their knowledge because intellectual growth reflects curiosity and confidence. It shows that he values wisdom as much as success. Or discipline ensures that he applies what he learns instead of letting knowledge go to waste. This balance between learning and action makes him powerful. In conclusion, all women respect men who stay humble enough to learn and disciplined enough to apply. Financial growth is another aspect of constant improvement that demands discipline. Or a man who manages his finances wisely, saves, invests, and works towards stability demonstrates foresight and responsibility. All women respect this maturity because it shows planning, self-control, and the ability to provide security. Or financial discipline separates men who live recklessly from those who build for the future. It is not about wealth alone, but about management and consistency. Or a man who builds financial strength proves that he values independence and stability. In conclusion, all women respect men who demonstrate disciplined growth in financial responsibility. Discipline also strengthens a man's character. It teaches him to control impulses or resist temptations and stay true to his values even when life tests him. Women admire men who hold firm to their principles instead of being swayed by every situation. Or growth in character means constantly becoming more patient, more resilient, and more balanced. This inner strength is magnetic because it reveals authenticity, or discipline ensures that character growth is not temporary but permanent, rooted in daily choices. In conclusion, all women respect the man whose disciplined character proves he is strong inside and out. Physical growth and discipline also matter, because the way a man treats his body reflects his self-respect. A man who trains, eats well, and stays strong shows commitment to health and longevity. Or women notice discipline in physical fitness because it communicates confidence, strength, and perseverance. On the other hand, neglecting health signals carelessness and lack of discipline. Growth in physical strength also builds mental resilience as discipline in one area spreads into others. A fit or disciplined man becomes inspiring. In conclusion, women respect men who treat their bodies with discipline as proof of inner strength. Or spiritual and emotional growth are equally important. A man who cultivates discipline in his beliefs, faith, or inner peace shows balance and wisdom. Or he does not chase external distractions endlessly, but instead grows inwardly, grounding himself in values that guide his life. Women respect men who are centered, or who know themselves and who live with deeper purpose. Discipline keeps this growth consistent, ensuring he does not stray from his path. Or growth of the spirit and heart makes him strong yet compassionate. In conclusion, women respect men who pursue inner growth with unwavering discipline and conviction. Ultimately, constant growth and discipline are what make a man truly respectable. Women may be impressed by appearance or charm, but respect is reserved for the man who proves his worth through progress and consistency. Growth shows vision, discipline shows strength, and together they create greatness. Or a man who commits to lifelong improvement becomes unstoppable because he is always evolving. Respect follows him naturally because he is rare and inspiring. In conclusion, women respect men who never stop growing and who discipline themselves to become stronger every single day.